Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigger Than Race, exposure to all things truth, whether you like it or not, with unique perspectives from different beings from all walks of life. This is Bigger Than Race. Investigate truth on your own terms. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bigger Than Race. I'm your host, Brando, aka CryptoPapi. And today, we have got a lovely show put together for you today. And we are talking about XRP, beyond all the money. Now you hear everybody talking about all the money. XRP is all the money. But we want to go beyond all the money. Like, what comes after all the money? Because we all know money is not everything. But we want to understand what is beyond all the money. And to help me and to help you understand this, I have brought on a good friend. This is somebody you may have heard me speak about. This is the partner of mine that you hear about but you never see. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Sparks. Sparks, what's going on today? How are you?
Hi, Brando. How are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm good.
That's good. That's good, Brando. Awesome.
Yes. Because, I have some XRP. So hopefully that means I'll have all the money. But we want to take them to a place that goes beyond all the money. Now, I know you are a very smart person. You do a lot of research on this. And you happen to be fairly new to crypto, right?
Yes, that's right.
And, honestly, guys, I've been in crypto since late 2016, right? And when did you get in?
I just got in about say around March, April when the lockdown in my country took place. And how I got into it exactly was that I started to notice like bankers and stuff were buying Bitcoin and stuff. So then I did some research and then I said, hey, you know what? Bitcoin is like at that time was about 9 grand plus, and I said, you know what? That's a bit expensive. So what is the next Bitcoin that's gonna come out? And then I came across XRP, and yeah, so that's how it all began.
Wow, nice. And what country are you from?
I'm from South Africa.
Good old South Africa. That's lovely. Now, I want to say this. She is new to crypto, fairly new, but she knows a lot more information than a lot of people who have been in crypto. And, like what I've noticed about 99% of people in crypto, they don't do their own research. They watch all these YouTubers and they just buy whatever they see or hear. But, it's very important that you do your own research so that you can actually understand what is going on and what you're actually putting your money into. Wouldn't you say you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I believe doing your own research is very important because, when you watch these shows, they give you the information out there and what a great project Ripple is doing and stuff. And then at the end, they say not financial advice. And you know what? I don't blame those guys because they don't want to be held responsible for any losses that might occur. Of course, investing is risky. But I notice people, they watch these shows, they basically worship these guys or girls for that matter. And I started to watch these guys because I had no clue and where to begin. But lately I've been doing my own research after I had a look at the digital dollar white paper back in May 2020, and that's about 2 months ago. And I started to do my own research, and I came up with some interesting things that were not even shown on these shows. That they don't give it the full picture of what's really happening.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
well, let me ask you, what were some of the things that you came up with on your own that you didn't see these guys talking about?
Well, okay, this is I came across companies that were being involved. Um, how certain people, in the background, those who are in the back room, as they say, that pull the strings, that do the financing of these projects. Also, certain comments that are made, especially in high levels such as the IMF, which is, I know the ripples tied to them is through Christine Lagarde, but it goes beyond that. And I even came across Kendra Hill's stuff, and I have to admit, she's not off what she stated.
Yeah, I agree. And just to add to what you're saying, the only way that you could find out these things is because you did your own research. And that is why we created this three-part series called Beyond All the Money. XRP Beyond All the Money. Because there is research in this part one that Sparks found and put together along with me, and we're going to present this to you. There's a lot of information, so we have to break it down in three parts. So we wanted to differentiate ourselves from what everybody else is talking about. We want to go a little deep. Can you say deep?
Deep, brother, deep.
That's what I'm talking about. So here we are. I'm going to take you to an article that was done in March 26, 2020, titled Digital Dollar Could Be Issued on the Ethereum Blockchain. Now, this may ruffle a little bit of feathers because everybody thinks XRP is the only one, you know, but we're going to show you a different perspective that goes beyond all the money. Now, the United States House of Representatives is considering sending a direct subsidy to American citizens. The subsidy is part of a stimulus package announced by the U.S. government to counter the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the national economy. Excuse me. While the bill is still being debated, it considers the issuance of a digital dollar. Excuse me. The draft law provides that the U.S. government could provide up to $2,000 for the country's weaker citizens and $1,000 for minors. To ensure that citizens receive the money, the bill proposes to create a system of digital wallets that can receive the digital dollar. The traditional markets and the crypto market responded positively to the announcement and the U.S. government's stimulus package. However, the U.S. government was criticized for raising a record $2.2 trillion in new government debt for this purpose, while the measure still has to be approved by Congress. Ethereum-based Ethaler in discussion for digital USD. The members of parliament behind the proposal already have projects in the pipeline that could implement the issuance of a digital dollar. According to Forbes, the Hyperledger Consortium and its Ethaler project could be the perfect solution. The Ethaler project will allow the issuance of a digital central bank digital currency, CBDC, on the Ethereum blockchain. Among others, the consulting companies Accenture and Infosys and the Itaú Bank in Brazil are working on the project. The group is developing on the basis of Hyperledger Besu, an enterprise version of Ethereum developed by Consensus. Commenting on the idea, Hyperledger chairman Vipin Bharathan said, "That's a significant step, and I argue that such crisis situations always produce new ideas and acceptance of new ideas that will live on long after the coronavirus has burned through the world." Furthermore, Ethaler has also implemented the token taxonomy framework emission system and is compliant with the ERC 1155 token standard. Unlike other Ethereums, ERC 20 standard 1155 is a standard that supports multiple types of tokens. For example, a central bank could use it to mint fungible digital dollars or bonds. In addition, the GitHub site of the project reveals a fiduciary token will remove one of the main obstacles to any value transfer network, a fundamental requirement for frictionless digital capital markets. The dollar can be divided just like Bitcoin in the decimals required by the issuing bank. This feature will make it suitable for microtransactions. The dollar is fungible by design and will have the value of the underlying asset, in this case, US dollar. However, it can also be suspended or paused by reducing the decentralization of the project, about the project, and the idea of issuing a digital dollar, Barathan says. It may not start off with a bang with a wallet holding $1 trillion, but over time it may. The information currently available are very limited. Moreover, it seems questionable whether a digital US dollar could really be realized within some days. The developments therefore remain to be seen. Now, what do you have to say about this digital dollar being issued on the Ethereum blockchain? What are some of your ideas and takes upon it based on your research?
Okay, back in say late April, early May, around that time, when I heard about this digital dollar project and Steve Mnuchin talking about it as well, um, a lot of people's like XRP is gonna moon, and they're gonna be using XRP. And okay, and to be honest with you, I believe that because I didn't understand the technology behind these cryptocurrencies. So when I looked into the digital dollar and I saw Ethereum, I read up. I went and I read up about Ethereum, and I said, okay, it's a great project, but then also is this is hype going on about XRP, and what I failed to realize, and I only realized until recently, is that XRP does not move according to hypes. Or speculation in that case. It moves according to utility, and at the moment, maybe I can be wrong. It is maybe or not utilized, and the price is suppressed and stuff like that. But I think maybe using the digital dollar on Ethereum could be a good way, because if I look at South Africa, at our financial systems here, already our big banks such as the Standard Chartered Bank, APSA, First National Bank, they are already on the Ethereum blockchain. So obviously Ethereum is going to be huge.
Right?
So um it's not to put FUD in the XRP community, but it's just putting out facts there. Say, what, people, this is what they plan to do, and XRP will have its time to shine. um in my perspective, I believe that, what, most people just know cryptocurrencies as Bitcoin and not the other technologies, not the other coins that's involved. So I think XRP will have its time to shine, but maybe not now. I can be wrong, but yeah.
Well, the XRP community is going to be up in arms and mad that you just made that comment, because they want XRP to moon right now, and
Yeah, true.
with the facts, like, Ethereum is for enterprises. So if we look at the adoption behind Ethereum and why all of these companies and organizations and even blockchain companies that start on Ethereum, I believe it's for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And people complain about Ethereum 2.0, this and that, but the proof is in the pudding. It's facts. Why is South Africa? Why are banks in South Africa already, utilizing the Ethereum blockchain? Why did J.P. Morgan uh, use Ethereum and forked it from the Quorum blockchain?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they using Ethereum? There is a reason behind it, and for people to think that XRP is the only one that will only be used, and we talk about all the money. Nah, all the money won't be just on XRP, and they've already stated that it will be XRP, Stellar, and the Ethereum blockchain. Those three
Mm-hmm.
together, things will be built upon. Even like how they talk about Stellar. Why did Akon choose Acoin to be made on the Stellar blockchain? You know, so
Yeah, yeah, true.
yeah, so this digital dollar, it could definitely be anything because I see that they're actually making different standards on the Ethereum blockchain for different tokens. Now here we're talking about the ERC 1155, but even
Mm-hmm.
even for Poly, they have their own Ethereum standard. And let me find that right now.
Just to elaborate on that point, Brando, um, there's something else. Remember, the other day we were discussing about one of the South African fintechs called Makuru or something like that of that sort.
Uh-huh.
I found out they are using the JP Morgan consortium
Yep.
consortium. Sorry, forgive me for mispronouncing it. And the JP Morgan consortium is using Ethereum blockchain. So, in my personal opinion, I think maybe the introduction to this whole new quantum financial system, as they put it, I think there will be other coins and other projects running, but I think they're using Ethereum like for the introduction part of the system.
I agree with you. I agree totally. And just to finish my thought about the other standard token is the ERC 1400, which is going to be used by Polymath, which is for the security token standard, because everything is going to be tokenized. You have companies that are going to delist from the NASDAQ and tokenize on the Polymath chain, which
Wow.
is utilizing Ethereum blockchain. So, we have to really open our eyes to the truth because the facts are
Mm-hmm.
out there. You know, sometimes people just like believe in their own hype and believe in their own
True.
mind.
And to add to that, I was looking at like people make all these funny price predictions and all of that. I was looking at the Nasdaq stock exchange, and I was looking at the Dow Jones and Nasdaq and all those um stocks and shares on that's listed on it, and I saw the price of Nasdaq. I believe, I can be wrong. I can even check it right now on my phone. Uh, yeah, the Nasdaq, along with the S&P 500 and stuff, the Nasdaq is about $10,000, $10,500 around there. And the one thing about crypto is that crypto, compared to the technology we have now, is a very fast pace type of technology. And personally, I believe Polymath has a huge future ahead of it. It's gonna be like for generations, if I can say.
Mm, you just made me more bullish. I got to go buy some more Polymath.
Welcome.
Yeah. I mean, this is where it's headed. And, people believe that the STOs were going to be taken off in 2018, but, they introduced you to things. I think that is going to be taken off 2021, 2022, and beyond. So,
True.
you should definitely be where the future is. And now,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I want to divert to this article here talking about the one world currency, because I hear a lot of people in the community, they get mad when you say Oh, a Stellar will be a one world currency. Well, that can't be possible because how would Ripple be used? How would XRP be used? It can't work. And so I think a lot of people just talk a lot of nonsense that they don't have any clues about. And remember, we have already said 99% of people in crypto do not do their own research. Because if you did your own research, you would be able to pinpoint certain things. And it's all about connecting the dots, 6 degrees of separation. You got to look at things differently. This brings me to this document here. I'm sorry, did you want to say something?
Yeah, sure. In terms of that, like I always hear like Ripple is okay. Ripple is gonna be the world currency, and we see all these hype videos on YouTube, and you know what? I don't know if they intentionally make it a hype or it's a lack of knowledge. Like not reading further or not fully understanding. But according to well, some sources such as Kendra Hill, and you know what, guys, I don't think Kendra Hill and Rachel Lee and all these people happened by coincidence. It could be the one and the same person for all I care. But as she stated, oh, she said back in 2008 that you know what, hey, Ripple is not after cross-border payments; they're after derivatives. Um, are they? Yeah, they're working with Vega, and Stellar might become the new one world currency because of Jed McCaleb's ties to the Federal Reserve and Lucius Trust. Yeah, sure. I personally believe it because Stellar has been absolutely quiet. They don't divulge any information that they do unless it's partnerships like with Samsung. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but even to add to that, and I agree with you, but I'm just adding to this Samsung part. Listen, guys, I was the first one on this channel to bring you that news about Samsung and Stellar. And then 2 weeks later, they announced the partnership. But they announced it based off of the fact that I put that information out there because they didn't want that information out yet. And
Mm-hmm.
then other YouTube channels started picking it up from my channel, from our channel. And then Stellar, their hand was forced. So they don't want to put out certain information. They don't have to. See, people think that these people have to tell us what they're doing. They don't have to, okay? It is your job to do your own research and to connect the dots. This is why I tell you guys that they put things in plain sight. It is a spiritual law that you have to tell the people what you're going to do before you do it. And they will do it in slick ways. That's why they utilize newspapers, they utilize books, they utilize TV shows, movies, they utilize articles, like the Kendra Hills of the world. But you have to be smart enough to read it. They say the best place to hide something is in plain sight or in a book. Why? Because you put something in people's face, they think it's fake. Then you put real information in the book, people don't read. They rather watch TV. So how could you know any truth?
Yeah,
You can't.
that I completely agree with you, Brando. I mean, if you read in Kendra's Hill stuff, she said within and she said this back in 2018 that within 3 to 5 years, things are gonna start changing and stuff like that. And if I'm not mistaken, Brad Garlinghouse also stated when they asked him about the success of Ripple, he said he doesn't see it in terms of the price of the coin, but he sees in what it will become within 3 to 5 years. So
Exactly.
I think it's just a matter of patience, accumulation, and being patient. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree. Sometimes this investing world is not meant for everybody. That's why everybody
Mm-hmm.
doesn't invest their money. Maybe some of you guys who are so concerned about the price, you might want to just take your money out and put it back in your savings account, and you can look at the price all damn day long. Okay, but this world is not for everybody. We are in the greatest wealth transfer to ever occur, and what comes with that is a little bit of patience. Okay, me
Mm-hmm.
personally, had I become a millionaire at the age of 25, 26, I wouldn't have been ready. And I can tell you that because I speak truth. I would have lost my damn mind with that money. Because I didn't respect the finance industry like I do now. I mean, let's look at it. Cryptocurrency has shaped and turned people's lives around. I never was focusing on the economists and macroeconomics and things of that nature, but now I am. You know, it's like when you jump on crypto Twitter, you go down the rabbit hole you've never expected. It's like even
Mm-hmm.
people who experience COVID-19. I'm seeing coronavirus COVID-19 forcing people into marriage. They so damn scared. They don't know what's gonna happen. I got friends that are getting married right now. I'm like, dude, you getting married? Yeah, coronavirus. So, you know, it's just funny how people operate, but it's also funny how cryptocurrency can change your life for the better if you are patient enough and diligent and doing your own research to understand why you must wait. Sometimes getting things early is not a good thing. Respect the game, respect the movement. You got to understand these cryptocurrencies, we are undervalued right now. We are Most of these are still considered penny stocks because they're not a penny stock until they reach $5 or more. So have patience and understand that this moment in history, we will never get this opportunity again. We're talking about you're investing in the newest blockchain technologies, which would be bigger than any other company that has been out there. That's why all of these major companies are partnering with blockchain companies. But what you don't know is that these companies are actually plucking out key people from their traditional company and merging them with other key people from other companies to build up these new blockchain companies. Then those blockchain companies merge with these consortiums that have other traditional companies and other blockchain companies to merge together so that they can rule the damn world. But see, if you don't
True.
understand that, how could you understand this article that I'm about to go into, which is the one world currency? Now, jumping into this, it was perhaps the Economist's most bizarre issue to date. In January 1988, the magazine published a feature article titled, "Get Ready for a World Currency." The article called for countries to give up their monetary sovereignty in favor of a world central bank, which would issue a new global currency. It suggested the name, Phoenix, for the currency. The article recognized that most governments wouldn't participate under normal circumstances. It claimed it would take a crisis, i.e., coronavirus. The 31-year-old article concluded with a prediction: pencil in the Phoenix for around 2018 and welcome it when it comes. Now, 2018 has come and gone, but the prospect of a global financial crisis ushering in a world central bank and a new global currency is increasingly plausible. As I'll explain shortly, this is bad news for the US dollar. For months, I've been telling my readers that an epic market crash is very likely before the end of Trump's first term. That's because the magnitude of a crisis is directly related to the amount of malinvestment getting flushed from the economy. In other words, the bigger the boom, the bigger the bust. And right now, there is an unprecedented amount of malinvestment waiting to be flushed, thanks to 7 years of 0% interest rates and the 3.7 trillion the Fed printed after the 2008 financial crash. The Fed inflated the housing bubble with about 2 years of 1% interest rates. So it's hard to fathom how much it distorted the economy with 7 years of 0% interest rates. The Fed ended up creating not just a housing bubble or a tech bubble or a bond bubble, but an everything bubble. It's the biggest bubble in human history. When it pops, people will panic and demand that politicians do something. This will be the perfect opportunity for the globalists to finalize their pet project, a global central bank that issues a global currency. In that sense, the Economist's 2018 prediction may end up close to the mark. Let me explain. You see, the Economist Global Central Bank and the Phoenix currency were code names. Global Central Bank and International Currency referred to the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the international currency it issues, known as the Special Drawing Right, the SDR. The IMF describes itself as an organization of 189 countries working to foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, and reduce poverty around the world. In short, the IMF is the quintessential globalist institution. Pretty much every country in the world is a member, save for Cuba, North Korea, and a few others. The SDR, meanwhile, is simply a basket of other leading fiat currencies. The US dollar currently makes up 42%, the euro 31%, the Chinese renminbi 11%, the Japanese yen 8%, and the British pound 8%. In other words, the SDR is a fiat currency based on other fiat currencies, a floating abstraction based on other floating abstractions. For decades, the IMF has been using crisis to build the SDR into a global currency. Never let a good crisis go to waste, as they say. Today, there are about 204 billion SDRs in existence. They're worth about 285 billion, or about 1.39 per SDR, $1.39. In the past, the IMF hasn't created SDRs at regular intervals. Instead, it's created several increasingly larger tranches during or just after global financial crisis. As you can see, the chart below, the IMF created SDRs in bulk in 1972, 1981, and 2009. These were all periods of severe financial stress. And they did the most damage in 2009, as you can see here per this chart. The IMF increased the supply of SDRs by almost 10 times in response to the 2008-2009 financial crisis. This was a huge incremental step towards establishing the IMF as a global central bank and the SDR as a global currency. There's a clear pattern here. No doubt the IMF will use the next crisis, which promises to be even bigger than the last, to increase its prominence and that of the SDR. And this explains why they've got the global economy bowing to its knees. As you might imagine, the average citizen can't use SDRs. Your neighbors don't have any in their wallets, and that isn't going to change. Instead, SDRs are primarily used by governments and supranational organizations like the UN, IMF, and World Bank. SDRs are dangerous. They give the government, in this case, a global government, more power. They're a bridge to a powerful global monetary authority and eventually a global currency. At some point, they'll also likely be used to price major commodities like oil and gold, and possibly be the reporting currency of major multinational companies. Airlines already use them to denominate some of their liabilities. Many global elites, the types that gather in Davos, Bilderberg, etc., are huge fans of the SDR. Mohammed El Erian, former CEO of PIMCO, is a huge advocate of the SDR. The infamous, also a big fan. Expect to see the SDR used in more and more places as the globalists accelerate their push for it. For now, the US dollar is still the world's premier reserve currency. That's why people and businesses everywhere in the world take US dollars. For decades, they've had little choice about it. Today, the biggest US exports are dollars in government debt. The US government can create unlimited quantities of both from nothing. It requires no effort to print US dollars, which can be exchanged for real things like French wine, Italian cars, electronics from Korea, or Chinese manufactured goods. This creates an almost unlimited demand for US dollars, and that helps keep price inflation in the US much lower than it would otherwise be. It's hard to overstate how much this unique setup benefits the US. It's the bedrock of the US financial system. The SDR is bad for the US dollar. If the globalists get their way, the dollar would no longer be the world reserve currency. The SDR would, and the IMF, not the US, would reap the enormous benefits of the exorbitant privilege. In other words, the US dollar would become merely a local currency like the Canadian dollar or like the Mexican peso. Losing the exorbitant privilege and all the artificial demand it creates would mean massive price inflation for those holding US dollars, and there's pretty much nothing Americans can do about it. As I mentioned earlier, the IMF has used past financial crises to bolster its prominence and that of the SDR. Now we're headed for a financial crisis of historic proportions as the everything bubble blows up under Trump's watch. Frankly, the next crisis is going to be the big one, and I'm certain the IMF and the globalists will use it to advance their agenda. Now, there's only one way Trump can fight back, and you can profit no matter what happens. I'll explain how in part two of this stormy tomorrow, of this story tomorrow. Stay tuned. Wow, that is some deep stuff. Now, what's your take on this document here, this article?
Well, you know, okay, I have very how would I say it? Like I'm still studying at the moment business management. In my business management courses, we do economics and stuff, and also I have banking experience as well. So obviously, I know how more or less how this is going to play out because well, obviously I know how the system works. The IMF, I've been reading the documents lately. The IMF have these basket of currencies, as you mentioned in your reading. Now, what happens is every time there's a crisis, they add more and more and more. Basically, what they are going to do is like how Ripple is able to exchange from, let's say, your dollar to your Mexican peso, and all of those kind of things, and how you can even change from the dollar to even Bitcoin. I believe that's going to take place as well. So what's going to happen is after this crisis that happens, I believe, and you have evidence of that as well. They are going to add virtual currencies. Now, I know Brad Kimes, DAI, Mr. B, and all of these people have been talking about it, but I believe that XRP and Ethereum, those are the definite ones that will be added in. Um, I'm not too positive about Bitcoin, and even the IMF is not positive about Bitcoin because of the volatility of its price, fluctuations, and stuff. And also, its proof of work system is too clunky, too slow. What do you think, Brando?
Yeah, I think there would be. I think Stellar would be in there as well,
Mm-hmm.
and
I agree.
I also think that reserve rights could possibly be in this basket of currencies as well because of what reserve actually stands for. They also deal with a basket of currencies, and so I think PayPal, anything that is connected to PayPal, is going to be utilized in
Mm-hmm.
in a major way because PayPal is bigger than a lot of these damn banks because of the amount of people that it banks. We're talking about almost 300 million people, and it will be growing
Sure,
because
true.
they want to bank the unbanked. This is why all of this, they're making this possible for all of these different countries with the remittance issues, because there's so many people out there that don't have access to the bank. So how would we do that? We give them a cell phone. And what would that cell phone include? Well, it'll include certain things that can help them access their money.
Sort of what Samsung is doing with Stella as well, with that what you mentioned with that collaboration that they did. How you're gonna be able to send if you send dollars, and then if you want to receive what a Bitcoin or XRP or VeChain and stuff like that. Yeah, I believe that is already gonna it's gonna come definitely.
Yeah. And so, like with these basket of currencies, we have to, there's signs out there. We may not know everything, but you just have to try to connect the dots. And I
Mm-hmm.
definitely believe it will be XRP. I believe it will be possibly Stellar as well, because I mean, like I said, even Ethereum, you got to look at, don't forget about Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash. You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
you 6 degrees of separation. The same guy who started Ripple XRP started Stellar, and he started Stellar. No one really knows the true truth, behind it. No one knows, but they tell you what they want you to know. But I don't even believe that. So when people say, "Oh, there's uh this fight between Jed McCaleb and Chris Larson and this, that, and the third, they're not together." No, bro, it's all connected, all connected. So I wouldn't be surprised if Stellar turns out to be bigger than XRP. Now I'm not
Dude, you
saying,
just said you just said something that's gonna upset a lot of XRP holders out there.
well, they're gonna have to be upset, because I'm not gonna be upset, because I'm diversified in both. So I'll be happy either way. But just speaking off pure fact, no one really knows. But you see, you hear so much about XRP and Ripple and what they're doing. But it's that little one that's quiet in the background that you always need to be wary of. It's like when we were in school, or, just say, for instance, you have a girlfriend, right? And, you know, you guys have an argument. She catches you cheating on her. And you have one girlfriend. There's two scenarios. You have one girlfriend that says, "You know what? I'm about to kill your ass. I'm going to kill you." Ah! Okay? Because you cheated on her. But then you have this other girlfriend that you cheated on her, but she's just like, "Okay, I got you," and walks out the room. Which one you going to be more scared of?
The quiet one.
Exactly. And that's why you need to be scared of XLM and Stellar. Okay? Just don't sleep on it. That's all I'm saying. What else do you want to talk about these SDR baskets before I go into this IMF document here?
Um, like today, I was watching something like gold is gonna be able to be transported on the Ripple system, if I'm not mistaken. Because gold is already tokenized.
Right.
And what I'm hearing is that people are saying, okay, I know Kendra Hill did say this, that one day XRP will be worth more than a bag of gold, which is true. That's not lies. But also keep in mind the price of silver has been suppressed for a long time by bankers such as J.P. Morgan. Even what's his name, Warren Buffett has silver. And these guys have been buying at low cheap prices, if I'm not mistaken, under $20. So I believe when we go through this whole revaluation thing of the dollar, of commodities such as gold and silver, okay, I can be wrong, but I believe that silver might be at a higher price because of its suppression of price, also because of its use cases used in cell phones, in industrial uses and stuff like that. Yeah,
Oh yeah, and I agree too. Even in the Bible, it talks about how silver is really more precious than gold because it's harder to get silver. Like you pan
true.
for gold, but you have to mine for silver, and it's difficult to get silver. And see, I
Hmm.
think people are going to be surprised at how silver and gold should probably be at the same place, honestly, if not silver even a
True.
little more.
You know what, Brando? I think it was about a month back. I was watching a show on um, what was the guy's name? Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about how silver, the demand for silver every year on an average goes up by 4%, but yet the production or the amount of silver that's coming out of mining is down more than 4%. So obviously there's that deficit gap, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm. Huge gap.
Yeah.
Huge gap. Yeah. I just think it's going to be a shock and a surprise to everybody. And, you know, just be prepared. This is why we recommend you be a little diverse in what you hold. But I want to jump into this IMF document here. And we pulled this directly out of the IMF docs. That's correct, right?
Yes, out of the website, anybody can have access to it. So if you do not believe what we're saying, go to the IMF website and you can check out what we talk about.
Yeah, more than likely we'll post the links in the description box. But let's dive in. This is just we just cut out some of the most important pieces that we wanted to talk about here. So the IMF coin in Moneta Imaginaria functions of SDRs and their past uses. Finally, this article explores two options that the fund may have in incorporating cryptocurrencies into SDRs. One, redefining the SDR as its own unique cryptocurrency. And two, incorporating a specific cryptocurrency within the SDR's basket of currencies. Now, which specific crypto is that? Now let's dive into this part. A. Dennis A. Porto, a Harvard academic, believed in 2017 that Bitcoin's price could be over 100,000 per coin by then. And more retailers like Overstock.com are beginning to accept Bitcoin payments. If this trend continued, then Bitcoin's daily transaction value would greatly increase. But the trajectory is unlikely to hold. There are several reasons for this. First, Bitcoin is famously volatile. Some have already warned that its volatility makes its actual use as a currency impossible. Second, other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Ripple may surpass Bitcoin in value and public trust. Now, that's true because if you look at the stability of XRP, it has been stable for quite some time. And maybe that's on
That's true.
purpose. Even Stellar has been stable. So, absolutely, Bitcoin is too volatile. And for me, I just don't understand how people believe so much in Bitcoin. Anything that they push out to you first. Yeah, can you make a little money off it? Absolutely. But let me ask you this, since you believe in Bitcoin so much, you Bitcoin maxis, if Bitcoin goes to 300,000 today, are you going to keep your Bitcoin or are you going to sell it? And I don't even need to hear the response because you're going to sell that damn Bitcoin. And then after you sell it, it'll probably end up at zero.
You
So
know what, Brando? Sorry to interrupt you on that one. And you know, what's the most amazing thing about this crypto? I mean, I've been in this crypto space for 2 months now, even let's say 3 months, if I can say. And the most surprising thing is that people say fiat is useless, fiat is worthless, but yet they're only holding these cryptos to change it back into fiat and just dump these coins. You know what I'm saying? They think crypto is a quick get rich quick scheme or something.
right, and I'm glad that you actually even touched on that. It's like if you know something is the new money of the world, why the hell would you bring it back in to fiat when you know the system is going to crash? Yeah, maybe you could put it into a digital dollar, but for me, I would prefer putting my most of my money into something like a stellar, which I know it's going to be used as real money because it already is considered. Let me tell you a hint. Anything that you see on like an Uphold that has their own specific card as money, which you'll see Ethereum, Stellar, BAT, XRP, uh, those types of things like that, those currencies on there, that's money. Even Nimic. This is why we spoke about Germany and their Phoenix. They have already chosen at this bank, this regulated German bank called 1031. They have already chosen their currencies that are deemed as money. That's one, Nimic, two, Litecoin, three, Token Pay. And this will be powered by Zilliqa. So whether you guys believe this or not, to me, it doesn't really matter because we're coming from the facts that are out there and what's being presented. And I believe in, reading in between the lines. And that is something you guys you have to start doing. Now, I want to touch into this other document here, the general. Where is this from exactly?
Um, uh, I think I know it was in one of the documents. I think it was in blockchain technology. In that document, it talks about how Blame Masters, how she says, and I know you're gonna read it, but she states this is like investing in the internet of the 90s.
Absolutely. And this is what she says here. Highly novel, revolutionary technology with significant impact on the law. You should be taking this technology as seriously as you should have been taking the development of the internet in the early 90s. Blythe Masters. The technology likely to have the greatest impact on the financial industry and the world of business has arrived. Blockchain revolution. Who is Blythe Masters? Blythe Masters is a British former executive at JP Morgan Chase. She is the former CEO of Digital Asset Holdings, a financial technology firm developing distributed ledger technology for wholesale financial services. Masters is widely credited as the creator of the credit default swap as a financial instrument. Now, you see, these things that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, we're not bringing you any BS. We're bringing you stuff that is fact. This is revolutionary technology. See, the internet was the internet of information. Now we have the internet of value and the internet of things. So if you can invest in those things right now, which are going to take over the world, why wouldn't you?
And you know what, Brando, just to expand on your point right there, if we look at every single crisis that this world has had, always a new something new came out of it. For instance, if you look at the 90s, out of that economic crisis came the internet. If you look at the crisis of 08, 09, Bitcoin was born. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah, and they use these crises for other reasons. So think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. We have the opportunity that most would never have. You have 0.001% people that are taking advantage of this. When you watch the Bearable Bulls video, what does Dan Pina always say? Gee, Grandpa, what are you going to tell your kids or your grandkids when they ask you, what were you doing when the greatest financial wealth transfer was taken care of? The fuck off. Nothing. You ain't going to tell them nothing. You know why? Because you're not taking advantage of the opportunities that are being placed in front of you. Here you are sitting here, you know, bitching about XRP all the damn time. But when there's more than just XRP, take advantage
True.
of what is here. There's great cryptos out there that are going to be delivering a real value in real use cases. There's going to be a bunch of winners. So don't always be pouting and crying about XRP and its price. Understand the
Mm-hmm.
value. Because I'm so tired of people. All I did was make a retweet of a post. And this guy said XRP gold, XLM silver, and Zenfin XDC copper. And this guy, oh, it can't be possible because if XLM is the one world currency, then what would be the use for XRP? Because they want to use it for the derivatives market. See, you ain't thinking
Mm-hmm.
big enough. You ain't thinking beyond all the money. You're thinking about all the money. But we want to take you beyond.
And just to expand on that point, Brando, also, we always complain about these rich people taking advantage over us, and they are like the masters, and we are like the peasants. And you know what? I read a book called The Richest Man in Babylon,
Yeah.
and they were a group of it was written by George Clason, if I'm not mistaken. And you know what, this man, I think he's a guy that fixes chariots or something. And he
Mm-hmm.
one day went to the richest man in Babylon and asked him, you know what, we were best buddies when we were young. How come I'm like this and yet you have so much of wealth? Can you not teach me the secret? And that's the problem that we have today. We're not asking what is the secret of wealth, and how we can become wealthy like these people. Then, because if we have the same wealth as them, or if we have wealth, and we feed ourselves and not rely on our jobs and the government, the government will have less control, the corporations will have less control. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one thing that I read in all these books on millionaires and billionaires and stuff, they tell you to invest in the number one asset that you can never go wrong in, and that is your mind. If you believe that you are going to become a millionaire and you're taking steps towards it, like investing in crypto or real estate or whatever it is, then whatever you are looking for, you will find it in time.
Right. Absolutely. People give away their power too much to things they can't control. So that's why when people get so upset about a tweet, I just laugh. Because here you are wasting all this energy on a tweet, arguing about something you don't truly even understand.
Mm-hmm.
You want to argue me down on Twitter about a one world currency when you ain't even doing your research. Because I know you're probably a part of that 99% bunch that is not doing that research.
And like I
So,
always like always in our discussions that we have, you know what, we always say that people are in the space just to get rich, dump their coins and get out. They're not looking at um you know like how do I say, generational wealth, if I can say. And I mean, guys, these things such as Nexo wallets and all these incredible wallets that give out interest off your cryptos and stuff. I mean, if your XRP is gonna go, let's say it goes to $1,000 and you're getting 5% of that, that's big money. Even for me as a South African, that's money. You know what I'm saying?
oh yeah, I know what you're saying. For a fact, you got to just know what's out there. But let's dive into this PowerPoint real quick, talking about blockchain technology adoption. This was done in 2017. Now, this is the adoption of DLT, which Blythe Masters was talking about, which is really what's taking over the world. Now, as you see here, it shows you the timeline, the Internet of Information, which dealt with, the first mainframe computers from the 1950s. Then it talks about Apple was founded around 1988. Microsoft was born in about 75 to 88. And then NTT Data is founded. Then HTTP and the World Wide Web are created by Tim Berners between 89 and 94. The Mosaic web browser, then Amazon is founded in 1994 to 97. eBay is founded and goes on to Google and Tencent. PayPal are founded between 98 2004. Alibaba is founded in 99. Facebook is founded in 2004. Look at this. Look at this. This is from the Internet of Information. Now, let's scroll down to the timeline of the Internet of Value. Okay? 2009, Bitcoin is invented. 2012, Ripple is born. Agnostic blockchain. 2014, R3 Consortium. 2015, Interledger is invented. Ethereum is born. Hyperledger is created. You got to read in between the goddamn lines, people. Okay? Read in between the lines. 2016, SBI Ripple Asia. To 2020, Ripple 2017 becomes the standard for international money transfers between banks. ILP becomes the standard protocol for connecting banks' cash ledgers as a part of Ripple software. 2020 to 2025, 2030, blockchain solutions for capital markets and trade finance emerge. R3 Corda. Don't forget, trade finance goes hand in hand with XDC. Remember, R3 is partnered with Zenfin. Okay, guys, ILP Java becomes the interoperability standard for Hyperledger Foundation projects. 2020, 2025, blockchains and distributed ledger solutions mature, and all asset exchange networks become interoperable with ILP. Ladies and gentlemen, from 2020 to 2025 to 2030, we are about to see the maturity of this industry go boom. And now you talking about you want to sell your cryptocurrency for fiat because you want to buy a goddamn Lambo. I want to own the goddamn freeway. So there's a lot of simple-minded crypto holders out there. You're just talking about Lambos. What you gonna do with your Lambo when people are all mad fighting because the money is devaluing and it's going crazy and they don't know what's gonna happen, and somebody just comes along and bashes in your goddamn Lambo? Now you're gonna be mad. You know why? Because you took out and cashed out at $50 XRP. You got a little money now, but you spent $250 on the Lambo DeLorean. Now you think you riding good. Now somebody comes and bashes it. Now that's another $50,000 that they're gonna hit you over the head for to get that fixed. And now you didn't know that the tires cost you another $5,000 to $10,000. You don't know all these things, and then before you even look up to it, you're gonna be broke. Not only because of all the money you spend on stupid stuff, but the dollar is crashing, and now you're losing your fiat currency. And while me and Sparks over here, we're gonna be having our crypto and watching it blossom through this whole time of 2020 to 2030 as this market matures. And then you're gonna be looking up at us like, damn, I should have kept some of that crypto. But now you don't. You looking stupid. Now I know there's not a lot of people that follow this channel that will make mistakes like that, because I talk to a lot of people in the comments, and I talk to a lot of good people that even send me information on sources like Instagram and or on Twitter. And there's some smart individuals out there. But I'm only speaking to the ones who just talk craziness. And you know who you are, because you don't feel good about yourself sometimes. You like to talk recklessly in comments and, talk stuff you don't even know on Twitter posts. But this is showing you right here in this article, in this PowerPoint, that this Internet of Value is the future. It is here. It is now. What do you have to say about that, Sparks?
Yeah, it you know what? I think we are entering in like this like how they like to put it, a new world order, if I may say. I mean, already the South African government got plans for next year to start implementing the quantum financial system. And also another thing is that they're talking about taking away our pensions and stuff. So yeah, we're getting close to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this document, this PowerPoint goes in deeper to showing you about blockchain and DLT adoption maturity. And you see Bitcoin, you see Ethereum, you see Ripple, you see Chain, you see R3 Quarter, digital asset, Hyperledger Fabric. You know, like, look, you even see the Interledger protocol with the protocols of HTTP and TCP. All these protocols we never knew existed, but we're going to be investing in the ILP, which is these protocols that you see right here on the screen: the SP, HTTP dash ILP, PayTorrent, PSK, IPR. I mean, look at this. This is what we are investing in. So if you sell your crypto back into fiat, you would just be crazy. But let's just even talk about the founders of Hyperledger. Look at this. The members in the foundation of Hyperledger. All of these major corporations here, and it's growing as we speak every week. Now, this is where we're headed. The payment settlement, present and future. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're headed. For the real-time gross settlement, 1980 to 2017, this is where we were. But now we're advancing to the bank's adoption of real-time settlement, DLT. We've seen these graphs many times before, but I want to show you 2025. Look at this. XRP ledger, ILP, interledger protocol, the interoperability. This is where we are going, and we will link this in the description. But you cannot argue with this. You can't argue with facts. So this brings me to our last slide, and we're not going to go too deep into it, but I just want to talk about Bitcoin and its future. And this guy says here, I doubt that Bitcoin currency will be broadly adopted in the US or abroad, nor will any other virtual currency in the next 10 years, if ever. I don't believe that part, but yeah. However, the Bitcoin technology, specifically the blockchain, could be leveraged for other purposes. Yes, I agree. Deeds, titles, contracts, self-enforcing smart, securities, when a repurchase agreement, repo, that cannot fail to settle. Might we see a Bitcoin-like network that carries electronic ledger tender issued by the government? Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Now, Bitcoin electronic legal tender. Similarities between cash and Kuna Cash. Both could be anonymous. Both would be uniquely identifiable, like a dollar serial number. Both require strong security features. Both could be issued by Fed Treasury and distributed through banks. Benefits of Kuna Cash. Cash is expensive to produce, process, transport, store. Electronic legal tender should be much cheaper. Could pay anyone, anywhere instantaneously. Could help unbanked. World is shifting to instantaneous everything. Now let me ask you. Bitcoin is too damn expensive to even send. So why would we use that? It's too damn slow. Why would we use it when we can send Stellar and XRP for less? Damn near free. To me, Bitcoin will rise. All of these people will make their money. But then Bitcoin will not be where people think it will be. It might be gone or it might even end up at a lower value point. But for me, I don't want to own Bitcoin because I think people will come to realize that there's other altcoins that are going to serve major purposes more so than Bitcoin would. Bitcoin is the introductory into blockchain technology, just like Napster was for, music, downloading music. But now we have Spotify and we have Apple Music. And Brad Garlinghouse says this. So what is Bitcoin? It is a Napster of the world. Where is Napster now? Do you know, Sparks?
As far as I know, not
I'll tell you where it is.
non-existent.
It's dead. It blew up a long time ago, just like Bitcoin will. Now, I know you might be mad. You might be saying he's talking crazy. But remember, think about the facts that we presented to you. The IMF doesn't want to use it in its basket of currencies. And you've even heard Christine Lagarde talk about it's far from the Bitcoins of the world. Can you make money with Bitcoin? Yes. How many people actually have $10,000 to own a Bitcoin?
Definitely not me.
Not even me. I don't want to own a Bitcoin. Yeah, I can have one Bitcoin, but I would need to sell some important cryptocurrencies that I see a real use case for. And Bitcoin doesn't serve a purpose in this regard. Bitcoin can kiss my ass. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I do believe that Bitcoin should definitely excel for the rest of the market to succeed for the short term.
I fully agree on that point. And not only that, I think like in terms of, okay, I know Bitcoin is like they use it as a hedge fund, as a digital gold, as they put it. But Bitcoin will do great investment, like how they will sometime in the future or near future they're gonna make Bitcoin ETFs, sorry, yeah, my bad, and use it as a trading asset. But to be quite fair, you would rather buy the real crypto than to buy those ETFs.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Now, we're going to wind this part one down to beyond all the money, XRP beyond all the money. Now, is there any closing thoughts that you would like to leave the community with?
Um, well, one thing is, you know what, guys? Rome was not built in a day. The Internet of Information was not built in a day, definitely. And only that, XRP is not going to be the only winner. Just like the Internet of Information, many companies came out as winners out of that, like your Apples, your Microsoft, and stuff. And out of this, there's going to be a lot of winners. There's no such thing as the coin or the crypto. Like Brad Garlinghouse says, people treat certain cryptos like Chainlink or XRP or Stellar. They treat them like like a religion, if I can put it in that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So to be honest with you, I did fall into that XRP trap until I discovered other coins with use cases like Tron and VeChain, which have some really good things going on for them, and AGI and IOTEX. So yeah, my closing thing is, what, invest. Fiat is going to go down, not only for the dollar, also for most currencies or all currencies of the world. Like they say, um, fiat will always go back to its intrinsic value, which is zero, and I personally agree with that. And put into assets that's going to make you money, and that money that you will get in the future is going to be sound money. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you who stayed and listened to this part one of XRP Beyond All the Money. And I want to thank all of the subscribers, all of the new subscribers, all of the new people that will find this video valuable and that resonate with the content. And I always just like to thank the people that like it, because you don't have to like it, but the people that take the half a second out of their day to click that little like button, I appreciate that. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host, CryptoPapi, Brando. This is Bigger the Race, alongside Sparks, my partner in crime, who you never know and who you'll never see. Remember, investigate truth on your own terms.